Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm Peter Martin, Alan Ruff, Lee McCulloch and Tam McManus are here with me, and here's what's coming up in the show. Rangers reach League Cup final against Aberdeen, but Philippe Clement fires warning to the players.
If you're in a final or semi-final or quarter-final, doesn't make a difference. At the end, it's about winning something.
Hearts boss Steven Naismith questions the referee after their semi-final loss to Gers.
It's just strange that seems to happen, that first thought it's red card for us.
Barry Robson takes aim at the fixture scheduling as Dons get set for Hampden Showpiece next month.
Probably my bigger frustration is we've got to play Eintracht Frankfurt on the Thursday before the final. That's a bigger frustration. We've done well again there, haven't we?
Craig Levein has been announced as the new manager of bottom of the table St Johnstone.
Yeah, when Jeff called me, it was quite a easy decision.
Delete.
Yeah, there you are. He is. He's a happy man. Don't speak too soon, Jig.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about Craig Levein as the St Johnstone manager. We're going to look at the Viaplay League Cup semi-final results, look back over the matches, get your thoughts as well, and we'll also cast our eye back over the weekend's Scottish Premiership results, as well as the English Premier League 2 and all the news of today. Don't forget, you can hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel to join the football family, and if you download the app, it's all there at your fingertips as well. So, Rangers booked their place in the final on December 17th. Worthy winners?
I would say so. Overall, first half they weren't. The game wasn't really that good. I didn't think. Then second half it burst into life. I think overall they were deserved winners. There's a couple of other half chances as well. I thought Hearts done well first half to frustrate them, but I think Rangers just did too much.
Yeah. Do you remember what I was saying about James Tavernier?
Yeah. Free kicks in particular, superb, great technique. Penalty kicks, scores them 99% of the time, but all round, for the performances that he puts in, week out, going forward, there's nobody better in our game. I know he gets criticised defensively, but when you're scoring that many goals, it's no big deal.
Yeah, and of course, Philippe Clement, the Rangers boss, now looking forward to a final and hoping his players can take that final step.
So we need to continue like that and not going now in a modus of satisfaction. That's the big danger now. So the players can be satisfied this evening and happy and enjoy their time with the family. But from tomorrow, I expect everybody to be focused again towards Prague, because that's football. Okay, we are in a final, but if you are in a final or semi-final or quarter-final, doesn't make a difference. At the end, it's about winning something. We're not there yet.
Yeah, just one more step to go. But overall, Scott Wright chipped in as well. Suddenly players look as if they're all desperate to play for him.
Yeah, that was an interesting substitution at half-time, Peter. I think that I didn't think Cantwell was particularly great in the first half. He'd been booked and he was getting involved in a couple of little niggles. So, listen, the manager made that decision and it was a great call. I think Scott Wright came on and gave Rangers a real lift. He scored a fantastic goal, bottom corner, goalkeeper no chance, and looked lively the whole second half. So, you're right, there's competition for places now within that Rangers squad. New manager coming in, it's been a clean slate. So there's a lot of players who looked on the way out. He was probably one of them, Scott Wright, but he might just get himself back into the team now.
Yeah, of course, Steven Naismith disappointed not to make the final and disappointed with the referee's decisions.
Crazy. To think that he would try and dive when it's that blatant. The ball's miles away, the ball's going out the park. He's never going to get a penalty for a dive. It's just strange that seems to happen, that first thought it's red card for us. When it's a clear kick. Nowadays I think there's been a few penalties in recent weeks with that stamp on the foot. Aberdeen in Europe was one. It's clear that it's a thing, but why was it not even just penalty and then we can review it? It was red card and then we'll review it, which it's strange for me.
What did you make of that decision, Tam?
I thought he clipped him, Peter. I thought there was contact there. I understand why the referee maybe thought it was a dive the way he went down, but he's kicked him. I think they've went by it. They've got the right decision in the end. In terms of Steve, I don't know what he's trying to insinuate there, but I think the referee's just automatically his first thought is he's dived, and sometimes that can happen. With anybody, with any player, any manager. Your first thought is, and then you can maybe get it wrong. So I think they got the right decision in the end. That's what VAR was brought in for. I think he did clip him, and it was. Listen, the game was dead at that point. It was 3-0 anyway. But I don't understand what Steven's coming from there, to be honest.
Does it matter what the decision was? It's going to get reviewed by VAR anyway.
Yeah.
Doesn't it matter?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter on at what point they review it, but I think he was more peeved with the way the referee went through the process rather than the fact that it was going to be reviewed anyway.
I think he should be more concerned about how his team played in the second half of the game than that instance. You know, if it had been, say, 1-0, you know, and it happened, fair enough, you've got something to shout about, but he's got nothing to hang on to. You know, in the end, they were well beaten.
Yeah. Did you expect more from them, Ruffy?
I think it was you that said they need to score first.
Yeah.
And I think that was the case. You know, there was belief there in the first half, but I don't think they had many chances in the first half. But if they'd have got a goal, it might have given them something to hang on to. But the second half, Rangers were impressive right through the 45 minutes.
Yeah. Are you starting to see, if you were going on a graph, are you starting to see a better standard of football and the players responding to what Philippe Clement's trying to do?
Definitely, I think so. I think not only that, the confidence seems to have risen in the camp. I think I like the way he spoke after the game, and I believe the players were in this morning as well to train. So it's not like that's the semi-final done. We're in the final now. Forget about it. It's on to the next game, and that's the way it should be. And yes, I definitely see confidence and performance rising.
Yeah, okay. Rangers booked their place in the final. And what about the other semi-final? Well, I've got to ask you first of all, Tam, because
Painful, Peter.
Painful's the only way to sum it up.
Yeah, listen, I think Hibs are very, very unlucky. I think, semi-finals are about winning. I get all that. Barry Robson saying after the game, just win and stuff like that. But in terms of performance, Hibs put in a good performance. I thought they played really well, Peter. I thought they were in the wrong end of a couple of decisions that could have went the other way. The offside for Martin Boyle, honestly, it took them 3-4 minutes to actually come to a decision. If it's that tight, I think you should always be giving the attacker the benefit of the doubt. People come to see games to watch good football and goals. So I thought that was very, very unlucky. The penalty, you know, if you're giving the Rangers penalty yesterday, I thought the Hibs penalty is very similar. So you either give both or you don't give any. So I think they were the wrong rub of the green on that as well. So, and then 10 men, Aberdeen break up the park, get the goal. So I think the performance in particular was really good. I think once he gets a transfer window to tweak it and bring better quality in, then I think Hibs will be good because he played a lot of really good football on the night. Just unlucky.
Yeah, Nick Montgomery, Painful summed it up perfectly, and of course, I don't think he was.
I just thought Martin Boyle's goal, if it takes 5 or 6 minutes to deliberate whether he's offside, then it's obviously not clear and obvious. And in my opinion, I've just looked back on it and yeah, I don't see how he's offside. The lines are virtually touching the defender and him. Yeah, it doesn't go in favour of the attacker. And then yeah, I thought the penalty incident, how that wasn't looked at on the screen. You know, from where I am, you know, the keeper spilled the ball and Dylan Vente got there before him. He touches the ball and virtually gets rugby tackled in the box. So, you know, for that just to be waved away and not even looked at, you know, the rules of the game are you can't make contact with an opposing player in the box.
Does he have any point on the two?
The goalkeeping one, I thought the goalkeeper got there first. You know, and the boy banging it into him. He did go over him. It wasn't similar to the Rangers one. You know, Xander Clark came out and just misjudged it. You know, I know the Rangers boy lost control of the ball, but he still took him out, so it's a penalty. I just thought he spilled it, he got up, and he got there just before the Hibs player, so it's not a stone wall for me. The Boyle one is marginal. You know, it could have went the other way. And if he's the manager, you're saying to yourself, well, that could turn the game for us.
I could take it a stage further, Lee, and I agree with what Tam was saying. If we are, after all, in an entertainment game, and you really want to try and promote goals and get fans excited, I think if you were changing that rule and the perception of offside, I would make it that there's got to be clear distance between the attacker and the defender. I think always favour the attacker, get goals, get people off their seats.
You're spot on. I completely agree. It was when you watch it without the lines there, you're going, he's onside. Then the lines come and it's as if the lines make it as if it was a big difference. Wasn't it a big difference?
Yeah.
I suppose when they're showing the lines, you need to trust them. But if it's that tight, there should be a margin. If it's that tight, just give the goal. That's where I stand on it. It's entertainment, goals, that's what everybody's paid their money for, that's why you put the telly on to watch it, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, and it was too long a decision to make as well, which I thought was, again, infuriating for Hibs supporters who've been cheering the goal. One other thing I was going to mention to you, Tam, on this one is the fact that we've been talking about it's just win games. Winning games just converts people's mood, their perception of you. I mean, Barry Robson, I think there was a number of grumblings at the way his side's been playing. What's he trying to do with this Aberdeen team? The disappointment of being 2-0 up and losing to Pauk in the Conference League. But I mean, it was a Dick Turpin job for me. They just mugged
Peter, I thought they were lucky, Aberdeen. I thought the first 20 minutes of the game they played.
But you said you thought they were lucky. I thought they were ranked rotten.
Yeah, I think they were lucky. They get one bit of quality from their striker, who we spoke about on Friday. He's a top player, Miovski. When he's running through and the goalkeeper, it's a goal. 9 times out of 10, he's lethal. Hibs just switched off. The boy Miller should have dragged him for a booking. You know, he went down too easy and Aberdeen get the goal. But I thought Aberdeen were really, really poor. I thought they started a system of, it looked like 6 at the back at times. They were just shelling it. Hibs were trying to play football and play through them. They got the break with the goal. And listen, semi-finals are about winning, but I think that would maybe cover up a few cracks. If I'm an Aberdeen fan looking at that performance, I'm happy I'm in the final, but that performance for me just covers the cracks, I think, at the minute.
Yeah, only one person tipped Aberdeen to win from Friday. Just thought I'd tell you that, Ruffy. Yep, thanks for that, Lee.
Any points for that, Peter?
None. I have to tell you though, when a manager comes into a press conference and his team have won the game, suddenly you'd have thought Barry Robson would have been all positive. None of it. He's moaning about the fixtures.
Probably my bigger frustration is we've got to play Eintracht Frankfurt on the Thursday before the final. That's a bigger frustration. We've done well again there, haven't we?
Is that something you would like to see maybe looked at and have some dialogue between yourselves?
Listen, we've also had 4 away games in the Scottish Premier League after Europe. We've had that as well. And we'll try to help the Scottish teams. We've got a day's rest, less rest today before that semi-final as well.
Yeah, let's give Barry a great insight into teams being helped when you're in finals in your chair. Come on, get it off your shoulder. Get the chip off your shoulder.
In this country, and he should realise that. So I sort of disagreeing with what he's saying. I think he's shown a weakness towards his players and he's shown a weakness towards his fans for me. And I'm no for that. Loads of other teams have had to do it in the past. Last season, Hearts had to do it, Rangers had to do it, Celtic's got to do it, so just go on that.
Yeah, but you were right in the...
You're the one bringing it up.
I know, I'm bringing it up because it's so pertinent. I can still hear Walter's voice ringing in my ear.
No, we had 4 games in 8 days, I think it was.
But you were dead in your feet. Yeah, worse than Aberdeen's fixture list.
I know.
They're not even going to be in the Conference League by the time they play this match.
I think we had 62 games that season as well, so I don't know. He's going
plenty of bonus money.
Did you feel tired?
Aye.
Yeah, he's were ghost. Yeah.
I said that to you when we were watching it, didn't I?
Even looked
Yeah, Ruffy, sure you did, sure.
We are saving was running amok.
Yeah. By the way, Arshaven is a player who played for Zenit. No, you're right, absolutely. I'm not going to go back over it. They were technically a really good side, but Barry's just moaning over nothing there because at the end of the day, yes, we would love to see, the SPFL try and cut them a bit of slack and give them a bit of preparation time ahead of it. But by the way, I remember Ian Blair, who used to do the fixtures, and I sat down with him and I thought, how can you keep everybody happy?
You can't.
It's jam-packed with fixtures. There is no let-up for the guy who sits there now, and I don't know who does it. I don't know if, who does it now. But if you're sitting there, you're on a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, and the fixtures are the fixtures, Peter. At the start of the season, that's the fixtures. You don't know what team's going to get in the semi-final or the final. You can't change it. So no, you just got to go on it, Peter. And they'll be out Europe anyway, so he can play his reserves if he wants.
Yeah, I mean, look at the fixtures, Ruffy. As you see, Aberdeen going into that game. Hibs Aberdeen, Aberdeen Kelly, Aberdeen Hearts, then Eintracht Frankfurt, then of course Rangers Aberdeen, and then Dundee Aberdeen. It is a hectic schedule, but I think players love it, or are they just mollycoddled too much now?
Oh, I would like to think if the games of that magnitude, you would be looking forward to every one of them. No, you'd be obviously a wee bit upset if you're picking up injuries and missing some of them, but they're there to be played. And I'm surprised. I'm like Lee, why not come into the press conference and we know they weren't particularly good, but why not come in and talk them up? Mm-hmm. Why not come out and say, my team were impressive, really this, and looking forward to the final, fans are away up the road, happy, blah, blah, blah. To come in and throw that into a press conference, I don't know what he was trying to do there.
Yeah, another aspect, just before we move on to, of course, the final itself, we might as well kill it off now. Aberdeen are going to ask for a 50-50 split for the cup final. So the arguments will rage on. But the easy way to do it at Hampden is, there's your 50-50. Once you keep selling them in blocks, the blocks that you don't sell, give them to the Rangers fans.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
I think...
Would you be happy to start on a 50-50?
I think you've got to. They're a big enough club, and it's the fairest way to go. If they don't sell them, give them back over.
Yeah, okay. It's always one of those annual arguments when it gets to a cup final, depending on who makes it and, of course, where they hold semi-finals as well.
Sorry to cut in. Should all the finals not be 50-50 anyway, really?
Well, it's a difficult one to say when Livingston defeated Hibs in the final and there was about, three men in a dug.
I was going to bring it up, innit?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it was, wasn't it? I've never witnessed such a
we had 42. Hibs had beaten 42,000 fans at that game. Hibs, get beat. Anyway, move on.
No, honestly, it was unbelievable. I mean, the whole place was green and white. Hibs fans, and Livingston won. I don't think hadn't read the script. Trudging off, another losers medal. At least you got there. Anyway, 50-50 split. Can I just say at this point, on behalf of everyone, I think on the football show, the last thing you want to do, and I think all the Hibs family have certainly rallied round the fact that a fan died outside the ground after Saturday's match, and I think all our condolences, thoughts and prayers are with the family of the person who passed away at the game. You wanted people to go to the game, enjoy it and get home safely. So all our thoughts with family and friends at this time. So that was the two Viaplay League Cup semi-finals. We're now looking forward to Rangers against Aberdeen. And I have to say, Lee, Rangers Aberdeen League Cup finals, Scottish Cup finals, just brilliant. I mean, I think of some real good ones.
Yeah, Skull Cup again, we spoke about this before, didn't we? I remember watching them, and it was a Skull Cup, and it was a Sunday afternoon, penalty shootouts as well. David Cooper's goal, Ian Durrant scored a few winners. That's obviously going to be the Rangers side for watching. But you had Big Eck, tremendous games over the piece, and I think going on Aberdeen showing in the semi-final, I think they're going to need to do a little bit more in the final if they want to lift the trophy.
Yeah, okay, let me rephrase what Lee has just said there. A whole lot more.
Yeah, I would think Aberdeen would need that Aberdeen team that you're talking about. Should be playing in the final with the players.
Willie Miller at the back.
When they had the players there, obviously Mark McGee and Billy Stark and all them.
Yeah.
But they'll go into the game thinking, on any given day, you've got a chance. I think we've seen it in finals.
Beat them this season, no? They beat them Aberdeen.
Somebody getting a red card for a silly challenge, things like that. That's the kind of things. They need to be magnificent. Rangers need to have an off day.
Yeah, I have to say, I had to listen to Willie Miller. Even when they were down to 10 men, he was wondering, he could just see the whole thing slipping away from them, and then they mugged Hibs. So even he knows that this is not. It's not a. I mean, should it be a better Aberdeen side with the people?
Should be. I think they've got really good players, Peter. But he brought in Clarkson and Barron and played them in the midfield with McGrath. All football players want to get the ball down the deck. And they just shelled at Heatherhead the whole night and just banged it up the striker and squeezed the game. So, listen, if that works, it did work on the night. They got the win. So Barry Robson will not be bothered about that. But I think they've got to play a better style of football.
Yeah.
An uphill challenge for them after Rangers get the penalty in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Don't forget, Ruffy's not on Twitter, so there's no point. If you just want to email us, we'll pass it on to him. Just give your comments in the feed below. It's as simple as that.
It's going to be the 6 minute.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, give us your thoughts. How do you think the game's going to go? Who's going to be the match winner? Can Aberdeen do it? If you're a Dons fan, do you feel confident going into the final? And don't forget also, if you want to, you can hit the subscribe button and join the football family. Lots of content coming up that I think you're really going to enjoy over the course of this week and beyond, all the way through. We've got some fantastic challenges on the way, and there's some things that we're going to get the guys to do heading up to Christmas that should be a good laugh. Just haven't told them yet. But all that to look forward to, including, of course, the women's football show. Brian Graham, who is Partick Thistle striker and the manager of the women's team for Partick Thistle, is the guest with Kerry Pollock and Alison McConnell. Well worth watching that. I'm delighted to say that my guest on Straight Talk this week is Karen Dunbar. And I think all of us, he's smiling already.
I love her.
Yeah, I must.
I can remember the granny.
Yeah, well, you might remember
during the war.
All I can remember is the ice cream van, but that's another matter completely. Whether I'm actually going to ask her about it, I don't know.
Right.
So,
Aye.
I mean, how do you phrase it? Anyway, Karen's only prerequisite for coming on the show, she says, "Can I swear?" And I said, "Okay." She went, "I'm coming on." So there we are. It should be a tasty encounter. I'm really looking forward to it. She's a really talented girl, and of course, Straight Talk, as you know, people from the entertainment world, football, a wee bit of politics thrown in there, Ruffy as well. There's going to be lots of interesting guests on the way, and let's not forget, Ewan Graham is our journalist who will be sitting in the seat alongside myself, Hugh McDonald and Tam Cowan for this week's Journal Show. So there you are, I'm giving you a flavour of what we're giving you, the variety across it, plus of course all the breaking news with our reporters, Alison McConnell, Patrick Mullen, Kerry Pollock and Adam Binney. Ross County 0, Celtic 3. I think one of the headlines that I think we've got to mention is James Forrest scored with a header, rare as it is. He's now scored in 15 consecutive seasons for Celtic, which I think is a tremendous achievement. He made his debut back in May 2010, and this was the starting 11, Ruffy, when James made his debut for Celtic. Boritz in goal, Hinkle, O'Dea, Thompson and Brathwaite, Brown, Z, McGeady, Rasmussen, Fortune and Samaras. Oh, how that team has changed over the years, eh?
Yeah, it certainly has. But, I mean, a lot of clubs, you know, have one-men clubs. We're talking about McGregor, would be one. Scott Brown was just about one. He's the same, you know. I think he epitomises the two of them. He'd been there a long time, you know, and I think we all remember when he was there, just a young boy coming in there. And it just shows you, you know, how he must look after himself, because the same man, every different manager picks him at some stage.
And you played against him?
He's a tremendous player. What a servant for the club. Got a wee bit of everything. I think he's maybe... You think he's lost a little half yard of pace and he's changed his game slightly. Started, instead of hugging the touchline, he's coming inside and showing great technical ability, scoring goals. He's what a servant for the club.
Did you do that? Did you find that as you were getting older, you adjusted the way you were playing the game?
I think so. I couldn't really get much slower, to be honest with you. But it started in front of the pitch, you move to the middle, and then moving at centre half, it's more so about reading the game.
Yes.
You don't really need your pace that much. I was really slow.
Well,
really slow.
Yeah, I mean, James himself, by the way, and of course, James is scoring goals. Not that I'm suggesting you didn't, but James is scoring goals as well. And every 15 seasons, I mean, I did mention, I think there's only 3 that have managed that. Ryan Giggs is up there because he did it for about 16 seasons. You know, it's a rare quality to have, and very rare do you get players now that will be able to replicate that.
No, particularly when he probably at his peak, his powers could have went to England. He could have played in the Premier League for sure, in England. So no, I think I agree with Lee there. He's been a brilliant servant for Celtic. His trophy cabinet must be bulging. He's won everything there. He's got plenty of caps for Scotland as well. So great career. Obviously, just as a testimony as well. And I think he's still got a bit to offer coming off the bench. He looked sharp when he came on at the weekend. Yeah,
of course, they were down to 10 men at Ross County, which made it a little easier for Celtic. And here's Malky Mackay's thoughts on it.
To go down to 10 men, it then becomes dangerous, because at that point you can be hurt just through natural, the way the game can go, and nothing to do with our players, just the fact that tiredness kicks in and they're playing like the red arrows, in terms of their movement, that generally near the end of the game, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you can end up with 6 or 7, and teams have felt at that. You look back to Dundee United a couple of years ago at 9-0, and that can really damage clubs and damage managers.
Yeah, I have to say, you're looking at it, the second goal from Palmer was an absolute peach of a goal before James Forrest get in on the act. And in fact, again, VAR played a part in this, because the red card after 10 minutes really does put them on the back foot.
Yeah, but I think it got it right. I didn't think it was the first time I saw it, and then when you see it again, slow motion, it's a red card, and they got it right eventually. They had an offside there as well with Maeda, which was practically borderline, like the one we were talking about early on, but that got chalked off. So, no, I think at the end, he's right when saying it could have been 7 or 8. I think it was bang out of order, Cameron Vickers with a bugle, just charging forward every 10 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
I thought he meant his nose.
I think Ruffy's just basically saying as soon as he goes, it's one-way traffic.
Right.
But can I just say at that point, when you get to a situation like that, you guys would have done this in drills all the time. When you go down to 10 men and you're playing, there's a way to play against 11, and sometimes with Celtic, when they get into that, constantly passing, bit of movement, as Malky highlighted there, it needs somebody from the edge of the box to maybe just crack one. And David Turnbull is doing that when many people are looking at it and saying, well, he's not getting a game, he'll be off in the summer. And now suddenly he's giving everybody a dilemma.
Well, I think he's out of contract, Peter. I don't think Celtic have offered him one as of yet. I could be wrong, but I think he's got plenty to offer. I think he's someone who can strike, from the edge of the box. When teams are deep, there's not a lot of space in behind. He can score a goal from the edge of the box. And I'm absolutely certain if he does leave Celtic on a free, there'll be teams in England who would take him, because he's good for double figures every season, David Turnbull. Terrific technique, great finisher. And I think he's someone that Celtic should be looking to keep a hold of, to be honest. I think he's something different from what they've got. But I don't know if Brendan Rodgers is entirely having him at the minute, because he's been in and out of the team. But he did start the season in the team and then dropped out. But he's not been in it recently. But if he can stay in the team now and keep scoring goals, then he might just get a new deal at Celtic.
Yeah, as far as Celtic are concerned, they're 8 points clear, albeit having played a game more than Rangers. This is what Brendan Rodgers had to say about the team. And of course, the man of the moment, James Forrest. It's all about the team. The guys have come in and worked really hard, and it's about contributing to the team. All worked ever so hard, and the other guys were steady and concentrated. And you can see the quality in James Forrest's goal too. James has got the third header of his career. Yes, he may well have the third header of his career.
Big shoulders.
I'll tell you one thing. I know. I'd love to see his man cave, Ruffy, with not only the medals, but the players that he's played against. His man cave would be special.
Yeah, as we spoke about it earlier, he has been there a long, long time. And way back in the earlier days, I remember Celtic getting into European games and he was the main man. He used to tear teams like Milan to bits, and that's away from home. So, to be still playing at that level is tremendous.
I wonder what his best strip is that he's swapped with someone as well.
Big jig maybe after an Old Firm game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we've got one of them anyways. They're 10 a penny.
I'm just waiting on him.
They're 10 a penny. They're 10 a penny. Everybody get. Jig used to hand them out at the end of the game. The further he got closer to the goals, he was able to chat to the punters. I'll sign it after it. Anyway, Celtic got their win. Kilmarnock got their win, Ruffy.
Yeah, I thought they were going to struggle when the big boy Vassell went off, but they got a replica coming on. He was putting himself about and got the goal. But I think at home they've proved that they're going to be hard to beat. It's away from home. They need to start picking up points away from home. But I mean, a month or two ago, we wouldn't be thinking about where they're sitting in the league just now.
Yeah, and by the way, the goal was well worked and a nice finish from Ennis Cameron.
Yeah, he took it well, Peter. They're not easy on that surface. The ball's coming right across him there. Easy to blast it, lace it, but he side-footed it firm and he put it in the roof of the net. Tremendous finish. And like Ruffy, as soon as Vassell goes off, I think we were in here actually and we thought this is going to be 0-0. But he came up with a wee bit of quality, and I think that's 3 wins in the bounce for Kilmarnock. They're starting to produce some results again under Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Derek McInnes also mentioned that he thought Ennis Cameron was going to score.
But it was just a kind of feeling I had. Ennis scored a couple of great goals in training yesterday and I had a wee feeling. that he might be the right option. It was harsh on Andy not coming on, but Innes takes his goal brilliantly. But I thought he led the line really well for us as well. And when he's like that and in that kind of mood and that kind of frame of mind, like running channels, getting you up the pitch, being a handful to play against, and playing with that bit more aggression that you want from him, but ultimately he gets the goal that separates the teams, and I thought it was no more than we deserved. I thought it was a strong performance for us.
Yep, absolutely. And they're now heading in the right direction, Ruffy. I mean, Derek McInnes pointed out, of course, their records of late, and when you look at it now, they're starting to at least move, up closer towards St Mirren. They're fourth.
Well, what they're doing is, as we've spoken about in the show on numerous occasions, they're beating the teams round about them. And when you're beating the teams round about them, you're going to put a wee bit of distance between them. And it's obviously the fixture list will come around when they'll be playing the top 4 teams. But at this moment in time, they're doing everything they need to do is beat the teams round about them.
Yeah, Hibs, Ross County, Aberdeen is what they've got coming up next. Hibs, Ross County, Hearts and Aberdeen, I beg your pardon, is the next 4 games.
4, you'd say the form they're in, there's got to fancy their chance.
Particularly at home.
Yeah.
3 home wins in the bounce.
Home wins in the bounce. We all know they need to better their away form. I was at the game, I thought they were convincing winners. But the other side of that is I thought Motherwell were dreadful. Really, really bad. I don't know what's happened to them. Confidence is shot to bits. They went very direct. A little bit worried about Motherwell at the moment.
Yeah, and the manager's well aware that he's getting criticised.
Listen, I've just been asked a ridiculous question downstairs. I understand it. I get the nature of the job. I get people's frustration. I get people's anger. I can assure you when I go home again tonight and I don't speak to the family and I keep my head down, I can assure you I've said more to you than what I will do when I sit in my house tonight. But we're back in tomorrow morning with the players. And as I say, I'm never going to shirk that responsibility. It's what I want to do. It's what I want to be. I'm quite happy to be the guy that gets shot at when it's no great. And equal to that, there's been plenty of praise for us as a football club over the last 8-9 months, whatever it's been, and very simply, you have to take the rough with the smooth.
He's not under pressure, Ruffy.
I don't think so. I think obviously going through a wee bad spell just now, but you don't want to be drifting into that bottom 2 or bottom 3, and then the pressure really hits in. They've been there before, they've been in the playoffs before. I'm sure everybody at the club won't want to go back there. They'd rather be up in the top 6 where they were. But I think they've still got players on there that can sort it out, but they've got to sort it out quick. Yeah,
I mean, are they playing so differently? I mean, as Lee mentioned there, they were maybe going a little bit more direct, but
that's not the way they were playing when they were getting results, Peter.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the tail end of last season, when they were in a fantastic run of form under Stuart Kettlewell, I think he's maybe just thought we've lost. I think they'd lost 7 goals, Peter, in the previous 2 games. He thought, just play percentage football on this pitch. Just
you
get
think
it in
the
behind.
manager's made that conscious change in the way they're playing?
I think so, Peter. I think he's went, listen, we'll just be hard to break down today and we'll bang it long and we'll just play percentages. We'll stick it in the channels, hoping to get a result, maybe a point or a win, nick a win. And it didn't happen. So I still think they'll be okay. I think they've got some quality players, but it's a worrying run. I think about seven defeats and a draw in the last 8. That's a poor run in anyone's book.
Yeah. Okay. Dundee got a 1-0 win over Livingston, and they're into the top 6. Again, the nature of it from 4th to 12th can change one week to the next, sort of.
Yeah. Again, Dundee were one of the teams I'd tipped to be in the bottom 3.
Oh, did you?
At the beginning. But they're winning their home games, and that's what's keeping them where they are, and just like I said earlier, they're beating the teams that they would like to think they're going to beat at home particularly, and if they keep doing that, even a point away from home, they're going to be safe.
I just feel as if we're at that point now where it's so critical to see who makes that move, who suddenly produces the goals. I always feel if you are looking at that bottom section, and it is still tight, anyone could be dragged down into it, but it helps if you've got goal scorers. Goal scorers, if you've got them in the team, they can somehow drag you away from it. I'm looking and I'm wondering, where are the goal scorers for St Johnstone before the transfer window? Livingston, Ross County, possibly. Motherwell, Beereth would need to hit a wee run to help them out.
Beereth has been pretty impressive. That was his first start at the weekend. They're just so important goal scorers that's why they're probably the highest paid in the squad. I can see St Johnstone maybe getting a bounce with Nicky Clark, who got the double. there last weekend. I just, they're so important, worth their weight in gold, as they say. Livingston might struggle a little bit, but I think if Nicky Clark can stay fit, then I can see St Johnstone with the manager bounce as well.
Yeah, well, of course, the manager bounce is Craig Levein, 59 years of age, back in. He signed a contract until May 2026. So he's in there. He's got Andy Kirk, who's going to be there, and Adam Binney was there early this morning to hear the words of the former Scotland manager, now St Johnstone boss.
Craig Levein is back in Scottish football. The former Scotland boss was appointed manager of St Johnstone Football Club last night on a contract keeping him at McDiarmid Park until May 2026. It's been 4 years since Levein last had a job in management, and he takes over the side rooted to the bottom of the Scottish Premiership table. But for him, this was not a difficult decision to make.
I came to watch young Max playing last week. He wasn't playing. I actually was thinking about going home. But I thought I'll just stay and watch because I'm here. So, and I'm glad I did. It gave me an idea of what is possible here, and I was pleasantly surprised by the quality, the energy of the team. Obviously, there's experience in there. When Jeff called me, it was quite a easy decision.
Levein revealed that he has two targets here in Perth. The first, to lift St Johnstone off the bottom of the Scottish Premiership table, and the second, to keep them there. Key to doing that will, of course, be his new assistant manager, Andy Kirk, who joins him from Brecon City. He will be responsible for taking all training sessions as well as the implementation of any tactics, allowing Levein to focus on the management side, something that he wishes he was able to do during his last spell at Hearts.
My best spells in management has been working for people that I got on really well with, and in structures that were really good. And I mean, I'm not being disrespectful to Hearts, and in particular Anne, because I love Anne to bits, but and I put the Hearts thing down to me, as I said earlier on, trying to spread myself over so many different things. But the people here are good people, and I want to work with them, and that's, for me, is getting up in the morning, coming to your work and looking forward to it. You'll do your best work.
Well, I want to know what you all think. Will Craig Levein be a success, and can he help St Johnstone avoid the drop?
Yeah, you can mention it in the comments section below. Has he got what it takes at 59? Still got the old spark there. I understand where Craig's coming from, because at Hearts, I think he was, he was director of football, head of pies, head of the team. He was into everything. I mean, there was about 3 checks coming in the door on a Monday. I mean, he might have been hacked off with it, but he was certainly banking a lot of money, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think that was the criticism when he did come back. He was one of these situations, the same as Naismith at the beginning. Who's doing what? Who's pulling the strings? Who's picking the teams? But he's got bags of experience, and with that interview there, it lifted me. I think he'll go.
That'll get back to him. But can I just say something to you? And of all the managers you can think of down through the years, I mean, Lenny is up there, right? Because Craig Levein comes into this category as well. If I could pick my top 10 real noise-up managers who were blisteringly brilliant in a press conference, he's one of them. I mean, he just would leather anybody with great one-liners. He's brilliant in a post-match press conference.
That's what you want to see. That's part of the entertainment as a fan, and he's got the experience. He's got the experience to back up. He's been the national manager.
Yeah.
Don't forget. So it's a tremendous appointment for St Johnstone. But I quite like his interviews where he doesn't hold back. And he's dug a few people out in the past, and Mikey Stewart being probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
Where they're having a tit for tat, and he shows you he's not scared of anybody.
Yeah.
So let's get the popcorn out and feed them.
It is one of those, isn't it? Because you only have. I don't think there's too many journalists that want to pick a fight with him. By the way, Jim Duffy's in that category as well. Anybody, but I like him as a person. I'm not too sure about. I don't know. I'm curious to see what way they're going to play. I think maybe unfairly. Can I just say? I think unfairly, Craig is never going to shake off that 4-6-0 formation for Scotland. I think it's an unfair criticism of him because he has offered quite a bit as a manager in football domestically.
Yeah, he has. Listen, he was the manager of Hearts when I was at Hibs, and we struggled to beat them. I think they were a big physical unit. I would expect St Johnstone in the January window to be signing some giants. I think these teams are usually massive. I remember
De Vries is getting a contract.
I remember going to Tynecastle and waiting in the tunnel for the Hearts team to come out when you're playing with Hibs, and you're just going like that. They were just getting bigger and bigger. You know, Andy Webster, Stephen Presley, big Mark De Vries, Kevin McKenna. They were an enormous team. So they've always been physical. And I think that you'll certainly see a bit more physicality and dig about St Johnstone now with Levein in charge.
Well, can I just say there are many ways to win a game, Lee?
Oh, of course there is. There's no fitting proper way to win a football match. Really, everybody will think it's all going to score the perfect goal, be passing through the thirds. It's a little bit of just keep collecting points, and I think they might go direct. Wait till you see them at set plays after they make their signings. The importance will be there of set plays, and I can see that. I can actually see them rising up the table.
I think it might be a shrewd appointment.
Yeah, every manager, you know, usually has a wee kick start, you know, and with them getting a win, you know, he's getting into them at the right time, you know, and then the dressing room will be buzzing. They'll be looking forward to the next game. To go back to that Scotland game, I think he was only 14 minutes away from being a tactical genius. Because if we came out of that game nothing each, you know, the formation that he picked, and if it worked, you know, there would be a different slant on what happened. I thought, I agree with you, I thought it was unjustified.
Spain done it, didn't they?
Yeah, but
Spain played the 4-6.
False nine and all that, and shadow striker and stuff.
I know what you're going to say. I know exactly.
Come on. I'm backing him up. I'm not comparing him to a false nine. We had no nine. Anyway, I like him, and I'm really interested to see how his team lines up and how he gets them out of there. But he's got something to offer. Do you think St Johnstone can escape the drop with that appointment? As far as overall, here's the Premiership table. Ruffy, it's so tight. It never changes week in, week out at the moment. You can go from 5th all the way down. In fact, you probably go 4th all the way down, and your fortunes can change over, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, and fortunes can go against you. You know, and if you don't pick up points, I think a gap will appear. You know, but I haven't got the fixture list in front of me. I don't know who's playing who. But certainly, you don't want to be down the bottom of the league all year. It's a horrible experience, Tam will tell you.
Yeah. Have you changed your mind on who you're predicting for the... Have you changed your mind who you're predicting for the drop?
No. I'm beginning to head towards Livingston.
Yeah. Well, can I just say something to you? St Johnstone are playing Motherwell tomorrow night. So...
Yeah.
And St Mirren are playing Hibs.
These are the kind of games, you know, if you don't pick up points and the people run about then you are going to get adrift.
Yeah, it's a big game for them tomorrow night.
Yeah, and St Johnstone are obviously coming off the back of a great win against Kilmarnock. New manager in, Bounce. I actually fancy St Johnstone to win that game. Motherwell, they need to pick up a win for somewhere to stop the rot. So all of a sudden from St Johnstone, maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, you're thinking they're doomed, they have no chance. They've won a game and they've appointed, in my opinion, a good manager. So the only way is up for St Johnstone, clearly. Yeah,
and the 24 hours later, I think this has got the makings of a brilliant game because I was so impressed with the way Hibs went about their business. And St Mirren are just winning all the plaudits out with the top two.
Yeah, that should be a good game. I think that St Mirren will obviously go and attack it at home. They're pretty strong. And Hibs, as you said, they've got plenty of pace and plenty of ability in the forward areas and they need to take their chances. And they try and play football the right way. So I think St Mirren will play probably 3-5-2 and then against Hibs is probably 4-4-2. So we'll see how that matches up. But it's important for Hibs to get back on track because they need to start picking up wins as well in the league.
Talking about picking up some points in a league, the predictor table, I'm having an absolute shocker, Ruffy. Yeah. I am slipping so far down there. I'm now in 116th. It was not a great weekend. Patrick's there, Tam's up there.
It's tight, it's 59.5, 59, 58, 57.
Yeah. How am I still on this? Am I that bad?
I think that I
missed the first 4 weeks.
You missed the first 4 weeks.
He's going to be low.
I thought he was on it.
He is on it.
I'm just not there.
Staunch 1690. He's on it.
Sometimes I'd never get tired of punching you. But by the way, stop. He's you are on. What are you? What's your name on it so people can?
Jig, I think.
Jig,
is it?
That's right, brilliant. So have a look, see what position he's on it. See what he's.
He must be jobbering about down the bottom. He must
I'm right down the bottom.
If it's anything like he's 5-a-side for him, he will be
here
right
we
down the bottom. You're having a nightmare. You need to have a long, hard look at your career now. As far as the English Premier League is concerned, here are the results from down south. And there's talk about managers moaning up here. There's a few moaning down there. Fulham left it late, Manchester United, but got the win over them. What a result for Brentford against West Ham. Burnley lost to Crystal Palace. Everton drew with Brighton, who got a late goal. Man City just thumped Bournemouth. Sheffield United with a late winner against Wolves. Then it was Newcastle edging out Arsenal. Nottingham Forest defeating Villa. That was a really big result. And Luton holding Liverpool to the draw. And then, of course, if you are not going out anywhere, it's definitely a night to stay in and watch Ange Ball, because you absolutely love him, don't you?
I hope Tottenham. I'm looking forward to tonight. Have a good game. But I hope Tottenham can keep winning, keep pace at the top, because Man City look imperious at the minute. But if Tottenham can beat Chelsea tonight, I think a lot of their fans will start to think, by the way, we're in a sniff here.
Yeah, I think Tottenham will beat Chelsea tonight, Ruffy. It's just the
Poch
way
back and all. Poch back at Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not happening for Chelsea. You know, they went down the road, they're bringing in a lot of young, expensive players, and it's just not working. And when you see the quality they've got there, must be saying it's going to turn sometime, but it doesn't look like it. And the way Spurs are playing, you would expect them to win.
Yeah. Lee?
Spurs all day.
Yeah.
I think,
will you watch it?
Yes, definitely watch it. Entertaining team, and I'm in Tam's court. I think I love Ange. I think he's brilliant. And
was he good to deal with, Jig, when you after games and all that and stuff? Was he
before, during, and after?
Would you go? Do the managers still go in?
No, COVID changed it a bit. So they don't no longer go in. And you used to go in for a wine or a beer or whatever and a chat about the game. But no, not very, very rarely do the managers go in with each other now.
But do you get a chance to have a wee chat at some point?
Before the game, yep, with Ange before the game, and he was just a lovely guy.
Yeah,
absolutely lovely.
Yeah, of course, when managers don't win games and it doesn't go according to plan, certainly they can get angry. Mikel Arteta was scathing after the defeat to Newcastle.
Yeah, we have to talk about the result, because we have to talk about how the hell this goal stand up, and it's incredible. I feel embarrassed, but I have to be the one now coming here to try to defend the club and please ask for help, because it's an absolute disgrace that this goal is allowed. It's an absolute disgrace.
I know people moan about managers, you know, when they're sometimes looking for excuses. But I have to say, Ruffy, I have to agree.
Could have been 3, Peter.
Well, there was 3 counts for the goal, but the second
foul offside and the ball out.
The ball's out, but it's definitely a push on the centre half. Yeah. Come on, Ruffy. If anybody had touched you, see 3 weeks ago, you were talking about somebody grazing a goalkeeper. Definite.
I would have given him the benefit of the doubt if the Arsenal defender had tried to header the ball, but he ducks it, and the boy comes in behind him, and I think he's got every right to go for it. I don't think he pushed him. I don't think he pushed him at all. No.
If anybody done that,
I think it might have been out the park.
Yeah.
That one, yeah. What was the other one?
Offside.
No, not having that.
So all 3
Out the park though. Out the park though.
That was definitely out the
Lee,
park. That was
of the 3?
Out the park.
Yeah.
I think it was a push. Yep.
Definite.
And I like seeing that, because there's a wee bit of authenticity that. Usually managers come out and they'll play the game. You could tell he was like raging.
He's not bothered about a fine, he's meant it.
Yeah, absolutely. You take, but by the way, when you're at that point, you do take a fine.
Just take a fine. I've got 25 million in the bank. I'm just going to sit. Whereas I'd be like, oh,
I can understand where they're coming from. Yeah, absolutely. Good to know that Tam's following how much Mikel's got in his bank account, to be perfectly honest with you. Always like to talk about Scottish players, you know, from afar, when they're going away, either down south or indeed across in Europe. We want to see them do well. Lewis Ferguson, he's the joint highest scoring Scot in Serie A history, equalling Denis Law's 10 goals. Brilliant from Lewis.
Yeah, great. What a player. I didn't actually think he was going to go on and be as successful as he has been when he was playing at Aberdeen. But it just shows you. He's out there, he's obviously, he loves the country.
He's improved.
He's improved tenfold. I've not watched too much of him, but I've seen a bit of him. And he looks full of confidence playing out there. I think the style suits him. He's coming back and getting minutes for his country as well. So probably a good grounding with his dad and his uncle.
Yeah.
Got to take a wee bit of credit for him.
Yeah, who's his uncle? Whatever happened to his uncle? Who's his uncle?
His uncle?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What happened to how many goals did Hateley and Big Joe score then?
Not more than 10.
No,
really.
I know that, but they seem to be over there for a few. Centre forwards.
Yeah, but
centre forwards. You'd have thought
we're talking
scored more than 10.
We're talking about a Scottish player. Talking about a Scottish player. It's Dennis Law. But nevertheless, I'm amazed you said that, by the way, because do you remember?
Mark Haley didn't, did he?
Well, do you remember what we were talking about a few years ago when he was ripping it up at Aberdeen? I'm surprised you said that, because I said on this show, if I was Celtic or Rangers, I would
should have signed him. Should have signed him, Peter. I totally agreed with you.
No.
I thought Rangers should have signed him.
I was on that camp. I'm surprised how well he's done
over there.
How high he's flying.
Should have signed him for £1 million for Rangers.
Of course, absolutely.
You know,
and Celtic.
Yeah,
they both should have been battling it out to get his signature, but it's as if they didn't fancy him at all.
My argument with when you consider some of the money that's been wasted by Rangers, they could have had Shanklin, Nisbet, Lewis Ferguson, to name but 3 of the players
who all know the league as well,
and are all really good players and know the club. And would have absolutely battled for it. Three good ones, Ruffy, that slipped through the net.
Potency recruitment, I suppose.
Ryan Porteous.
Ryan Porteous, another one.
I don't think Porteous could have joined Rangers.
No.
Is he declared a Celtic fan?
No, not at all. But it just, I think it was just he picked up that many fights with them. It was unbelievable.
6 red cards against them, against Morelos.
And a few fines along the way. Ruffy, if you're talking about great cups on your bucket list that you'd like to see, Copa Libertadores was certainly one of them. Fluminense defeated Boca Juniors, or Fluminense to give it its proper title. There's various pronunciations, but they defeated Boca Juniors 2-1. John Kennedy, no relation obviously, came off the bench to score the winner before he gets sent off for celebrating with the crowd. Well worth it. Although, to be fair, anywhere in South America, I would not be running into the crowd, to be perfectly honest with you.
You have to know, like the security is over there when they try to stop the flags getting in. The size of the flags they've got.
Well,
take up the whole stand.
I know, but can I tell you something just before we finish that's quite crazy about it all, though? Apparently, in some of the games, they have... somebody was telling me they have a riot policeman with a shield, and he walks over for the person to take the corner because they get absolutely pelted in the corner. I mean, can you imagine going over? I mean, at times in Scotland we've witnessed that and there's been outrage, but that's a given over there.
It just shows you how passionate they are. And I watched a little bit of the game on the telly. And it looked phenomenal, the atmosphere. I'd love to go over and experience one of the games.
Yeah, we should go actually, it'd be great. I don't know if that's the big test, I think, to be honest with you, Lee, of how strong this PLZ team that we've put together is. If we go somewhere for a holiday or on work, whether we actually get on with each other.
Yes, we'll be fine.
We have to take a place with my shield about ways with Tom.
No, it's Neil that's the policeman with a shield. Yeah, and two big giant Shaquille O'Neal's behind us, making sure that nobody attacks him. And with that in mind, really looking forward to the Christmas party. It's your first Christmas party with PLZ. Ruffy, it's a great night out, isn't it?
It's a wonderful night out, but you've got to keep your eye on a few people because you know, some people let themselves down. Some people have been known to wake up in the garden the next day.
So, still...
And that was in George Square.
Yeah. I did actually, kid you not, I was speaking in the City Chambers for a presentation for kids at school, and I said, it's so nice to be here handing out these awards at a place where I was usually lying on a bench with a kebab hanging out of my mouth. So to me,
What about 3 years ago, he went away early, and I was going to get the train at Queen Street, and I was going to George Square, and I was having a drink. There was a boy sitting on a bench, and I went, I'm going to give a few bobbits, guess. I goes, "What's you, Peter?"
yeah, I don't think that'll happen this year. Anyway, great to have Lee with us, and Tam and Ruffy as well. Hit the subscribe button on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. If you download the app, you get all the breaking news, not only here in Scotland, but across the UK, European football and world football as well. And if we are live at any point, it's up there on the app. So it's well worthy of not only looking at the app, but the website, across all our social media channels, but more importantly, with a variety of programming. And thank you to so many people who were stopping me over the weekend and just saying we're watching the programme, going into various towns and the after dinner circuit as well, Ruffy. Lots of people actually watching it.
There's a few at my gig as well. Two older guys watch it every week.
Yeah, a young guy passed me the day in the street, Ruffy, and just said, love the programme, watch it all the time.
Perfect.
And Gaz, I don't know which one of you is a Hibs fan. Gaz, I think he might know you, Ruffy. Gaz, I know you know them all by name. Just said, tell Ruffy I'm asking for him. I love the programme, I watch it all the time. So Gaz says hello.
Yeah, I've met a few. The festival was a big one.
Yeah.
They were in the festival.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know.
Valerie up in Tesco.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of people actually just mention it. So we're absolutely delighted. Thank you for your support as ever. Thanks to the people who are downloading the podcast and watching on YouTube. From all of us here in PLZ Soccer's team, thanks for watching today and listening.